Forbes, CNBC, CNN, Fortune, and other global platforms. Please welcome her with a huge round of applause, everybody. And next, Abraham Alapat, who's the president and group head of marketing at Thomas Cook India Limited, with 30 plus years of leadership across brand building, service quality, and innovation. Please welcome him with a round of applause. And next, joining us on the stage, Mr. Karthik Prabhu, who's the Vice President of Travel at ONDC. With a deep experience in travel technology, product strategy, and platform building, having worked with ClearTrip, Sabre, and Make My Trip, he focuses on democratizing digital commerce for travel and scaling innovative products and developing open, efficient marketplaces. And moving on next, may I invite Mr. Christopher William, who's the creative director and technologist at Hewa Lab, pushing the boundaries of immersive experiences. Driven by passion for solving complex problems through innovative, future-ready creative pipelines, he is here with us for the panel discussion here, where we discuss on how AI is reshaping the future of travel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next session is with you, and over to both of you.
Good afternoon, ladies. Check. Mic check. Volume. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And thank all of you for being here. So, as you know, that travel for all of us now is, extremely informed by AI. And whenever we are booking anything, inadvertently, we do seek the help of AI. But the way AI informs travel is not just that. There's so much more that is happening at the intersection of AI and travel. And my esteemed panel will be throwing more light on this today. So my first question for Chitra. Chitra, can you tell us, Thrilophilia uses a lot of tech to plan and run trips. So can you share a simple example of how tech or AI has helped you design or change a trip quickly for a customer?
So, AI at Thrilophilia, we do personal holiday packages. And when it's about personalized, customized holiday packages, AI comes as a force multiplier, where it helps us deeply personalize travel packages as per a traveler. So I'll give you a little example here. Very recently, a repeat customer did a booking with us, and this was booked for Kerala. But this time the booking was not done by him but his wife, and therefore the booking did not fall in as a repeat traveler. Just a week before the travel, when it became mandatory to capture the other traveler, co-traveler information, was when the co-traveler information came into the system. And then our system quickly identified that this co-traveler is actually a repeat traveler with us. And as per his customer profiling, his itinerary is not matching with his profile. With this, what I mean, so when we have a travel profile, it is personalized to the finest bit, which means, do you like fast-paced trips or do you like slow-paced trip, right? Do you like nature-based stays or do you like hotel stays? And like this and more, there are too many touch points that we capture in of the profile of a traveler. Now, whatever was booked for this traveler seemed to be not matching with the profile. And that's when quickly the system popped up and said that, there are a few changes that we should do in this trip. A guest experience officer actually called up the customer and briefed him that, the booking was done in a different traveler, your spouse, and we were not able to map the profile, but we could catch it right now. And I recommend a few changes. Let's move one of your city hotels to a nature-based plantation stay resort. Let us cut short one of the city in the itinerary. Instead of 4 city stops, let's make it 3, right? We'll do a stopover, just go through, pass through, rather than having a night stay there. And a couple of more activity changes were suggested. Fortunately, in the last minute, we were able to walk through all of those changes, contact the operators, and actually resequence the itinerary. But all of this could only happen because there was a system, there was a tech in the background which could actually map, identify, and do these changes at runtime quickly.
Some amount of human intervention was necessary, so that humans are not irrelevant yet. Okay, so Abraham, the question for you. So, what are your views on AI tools in travel, and how is Thomas Cook and SOTC harnessing these tools across your businesses to drive gains in both growth and CX?
Check, check. Check, check. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Check, 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 check. Can? I think it's okay now, right? Andita, thank you. Thank you for the question. And I think I'll pick up on the last sentence you made about the perspective on humans versus AI. I think it's important to set the context. Our view is that, to use our expression again, AI, is that AI is a very powerful force multiplier. And for travel companies like us that have a lot of human knowledge and experience and training, AI then becomes very potent in terms of multiplying it and also improving the average quality, because humans are, very wide-ranging in terms of their capability and skill sets, right? So you can have an excellent seller and you can have an average seller. You can have a entry-level new seller. And typically in a high turnover frontline, you do have a lot of. So actually where we see the most powerful role for AI is really being able to take the resident knowledge and adapt and learn on the go and get better and better, and also make sure that the quality of experience or interaction is consistent. Let me give you some use cases. So we've got a whole suite of AI products in various stages of deployment. The most visible from a B2C point of view is that we've got AI-powered chatbots, TACI on Thomas Cook and Easy on SOTC. These are generative AI chatbots. They will very soon speak in English and Hindi, and a month from now, all major Indian languages. So essentially, the way TACI and Easy work is they're conversational. You can type or talk, and TACI and Easy will sort of walk you through, ask you the relevant questions, and offer you a basic itinerary. And based on what you then decide, you can talk to a human being if you prefer at that stage, or customize it. Soon we'll get to a stage, hopefully a few months from now, where from ground up we can customize dynamically. Check availability, book, price, everything. At the back end, and I think this is equally important, is where AI is playing a very powerful role. One is to the point I made about the wide experience range and quality of experience range. Because when you call a helpline, it's the law of probability, right? You can either get a very good seller, or you can get an average seller or a bad seller, or an entry-level seller. Where we are deploying AI is what we call agent assist, where there's this AI which has got all the information available and is trained by the best sellers and is helping every seller with prompts. Now, if he's an experienced seller, he can ignore it because he already knows, or he knows better, maybe. But to a lot of average to entry-level agents, this is very powerful because on the go, they're getting real-time, relevant aids to help have a conversation with customer, because the AI is listening or watching, if it's a type chat, and responding real-time and telling him or her what to tell the customer. And is learning from every conversation. How is the customer responding? Which is more likely to close the sale, and so on. So Agent Assist is a very powerful tool, and obviously it'll get better as it's trained from a learning point of view. The other thing we're doing is actually on the back of this, we have a QC bot, a quality control bot, which again is listening to every agent's conversation real time, 100%, breaking it down into 13, 14 subsets of the conversation to look at what are your etiquette skills, what are your language skills, are you opening right, is your product knowledge good enough, is your closing skills good enough, did you remember something personal about the customer, and so on, and actually scoring every conversation of every seller and identifying specific areas of training. So what we're doing now is therefore being very, very sharp in terms of what training skills or skill sets each seller needs to have down to that seller and that call, which then makes it very powerful in terms of improving the quality of the people as well. Now, this is a virtuous cycle, right? Your people get better, you have better conversations, the AI gets better because it's learning from better conversations, and that's the way it works. Lastly, as I said, we're doing what's the holy grail of FIT, which is to actually real time, on the fly, in a few minutes, customize ground up holiday from scratch. And you can add, remove, it'll confirm availability, price, you pay and you go. So 10, 15 minutes, the dream is that you can actually customize a holiday real time. So yeah, that's completely flexible, because what it's doing real time is, let's say you want to go watch the migration, Masai Mara, right? You want to stay in a particular lodge. It's real time telling you, yes, this lodge is available. It's got so many rooms available. This is the best deal going. You want to book it, confirm it while you're on the call, literally. So yeah, it's completely flexible. If you want to add or remove something, add a day, drop a day, you can do all that. Okay, so sorry, because she's not using a mic. She's asking, since we implemented, are we seeing any output? It's a yes and no answer. Some of these we've already implemented, like the chatbots. So as we speak, literally a few hundred, few thousand conversations are happening every day, and from them leads are being generated, and these are being passed on to humans to actually close. So that's one output, real sales. The back-end solutions are both in play. So Agent Assist is already working, helping our entry-level sellers particularly. And what we're doing is control group versus average. So we're looking at if that control group that's getting prompted is doing better, and so far data suggests they're doing much better. So we believe as we scale up, that will get better. QC bot, 100% deployed, all our calls are audited, training is being built on the back of that. So far the error is less than 10% versus the human rating, so I think that's very good. The dynamic packaging customized thing I spoke of is about 4 or 5 months down the line when we'll actually roll that out. That's the holy grail, if you ask me, when we get there.
Hi, Karthik.
Hello.
So, ONDC has undertaken a massive initiative of digitizing all tourism experiences in India and making them bookable online. So, tell us about this initiative and the progress on this.
Sure. So before I talk about ONDC, just quick raise of hands. How many of you heard about ONDC? What ONDC does? Okay, 1, 2, 3, lower single digit. Okay, I'll talk about what ONDC is, then I'll tell you what we are currently doing, etc. So Open Network for Digital Commerce, what ONDC stands for. It's a company under the Ministry of Commerce. The why of ONDC is to boost digital transaction penetration in India, right, across all the verticals, be it retail, travel, logistics, financial services, food and beverages, and so on and so forth. So right now in India, the e-commerce penetration across vertical is, let's say, 6 to 9%. Can this be taken to a 25, 30, 40%, right? Imagine the growth potential for the country. So that is the why of why of ONDC. Now what ONDC does? It's a network that connects two ecosystem. One ecosystem is all the suppliers. The suppliers can be from any vertical. They can be from travel industry, which means all the flights, a lakh of restaurants, 2 lakh hotels, right? And maybe another 25,000 or 1 lakh on the homestays and so on and so forth. Similarly, all the logistics service players, all the financial services products, how can we digitize all of them and bring it into the ONDC? And this is one side of the coin. The other side of ONDC is how can we bring in all demand generating applications? Any company who has a demand, right? Be it a B2C, B2B. If you are running a company which gets 5,000 visitors per day, you can come in as a demand channel and take any supply from ONDC. For example, Uber, which is a real example. Uber is a ride-hailing company in India, Uber Rapido. Both of them have integrated into ONDC as a demand application. What they're fetching from ONDC is all the metros. So any metro ticket that you book in Uber or Rapido, Chennai Metro, for example, is from ONDC, so that Uber does not have to do one-to-one integration with Chennai Metro, Kochi Metro, Pune Metro, Delhi Metro, Mumbai Metro, and so on, which would have taken years for them to go live. Hence, now in ONDC, they took 2 months. They went live with all the metros, all the 4 metros, and then they're still opening up. So this is the power of the network. So it's a network that connects any supplier to any demand application and the vice versa. This is the what. Now coming into travel, which is what we are talking about. So travel experiences is a vertical that we are focusing on. The experiences is the entire going out economy in terms of any tourism product for which a consumer goes out and pays an entry ticket. It can be zoo, national park, theme park, museums, walking tours, all types of tours, culinary, and so on and so forth, heritage, right? Tour guides, anybody who's offering a tourism product, how can we digitize all of them, right from tier 1 to tier 4? You can be from Chennai, Delhi, or it can be from a tier 4 city anywhere in India, be it a small or large, right? So how can we digitize them and create a digital discovery layer, which is what is ONDC, and expose them to demand applications, multiple demand applications, right? Maybe Thomas Cook, Trilophilia, and so on and so forth. Make My Trip, Uber, Rapido, not only limited to India, but also for foreign travel brands like Klook, Get Your Guide, Viator, and so on and so forth. So that the entire India experiences can be discovered by domestic travelers and also foreign travelers. So this is what we are doing, and it's been a year plus since we embarked on this journey. So what we have done so far is all the 170 ASI monuments are digitized now, and it is bookable online in ONDC, right? And that alone gets close to 70 million annual footfalls on a yearly basis. Second is we also did a pilot project in Varanasi, October, November last year in partnership with Ministry of Tourism. So we have digitized the entire Varanasi experiences. We created 200 products, which is boating, any ghats to any ghats, all the artisan performances, local walking tours. Now for Varanasi, ONDC has the largest supply in terms of experiences that we can actually provide. Now looking at the success of it, now we have taken up this initiative to Pan-India. So we're working with all, the objective is to go meet all the 28 plus 8 states and union territories and digitize the entire state. So we started meeting, already we have met 5 tourism secretaries so far across different states. So all positive. So one by one, state by state, including Tamil Nadu Secretary Sir, Manivasan Sir, we have met. So it is very positive, and we are going to digitize the entire state and from a tourism experiences perspective and make it discoverable to buyer apps or demand generating applications. So the reason how and why this is relevant for the context of an AI, because these are all the core inputs, right? While there are many data points that are existing in the market, bringing in supply which is currently offline and making it discoverable, it just makes the existing AI layer or AI input much stronger. Right? Content which does not exist, we need to create content. Because in Varanasi, when we went and met, nobody had content. The boatmen did not have smartphones. They had basic phones, right? So we told them, okay, we gave a phone to our team. We told them how to shoot content. So we created content which did not exist. So all of this content, imagine we sign up, let's say 10 to 20,000 such experiences across India. All of this will feed and enrich the AI models which are already existing and which will only make tour planning much better and better.
So Christopher, many places are using AI and apps as digital guides. Can you share a simple example where AI genuinely helped a traveler understand and enjoy a place better?
Yep, sure. So little brief about myself. I'm from Hyperlab. We do immersive technology, AR, VR, and with AI. So one of the big examples I would say that we have done is for Changi Jewel. It's airport mall that's connected with the Singapore airport. So per year, in 2024, Changi Jewel had around 80 million people that transit. And you could imagine what kind of stress that might cause a customer service agent or somebody at the reception, right? So that's where we worked with Changi. And then this is still in prototype beta. So we're coming up with AI virtual assistants that's been deployed in Changi Jewel. So right now, Changi has a pretty good customer service. Every maybe 200 feet there, you see a desk, but it still might be a lot for a lot of people, especially in busy times, right? So having these kiosks now in between them bridges this gap. And now people can go up to these kiosks and they can speak in natural language to the AI assistant. And then the AI assistant can reply in whichever language that they are comfortable with. And you can ask questions like how to get there, all the basic questions that usually bottleneck the experience. This is where we come in. The AI assistant comes in and bridges the gap. And this is something that I think it's still in beta. I think one of the troubles is real-time translation. There's definitely a gap, but I think in a few years' time, having real-time translation should be, a few months' time, it should be better. And then the experience will be really good. It's like talking with everyone, like face-to-face with somebody. There will be no buffering, no lag. And another example, like I would say, especially in meetings like this, when we have people coming in from different parts of the world, they might not understand our local languages. India has like hundreds of languages, and then having this kind of AI bot in your ear, live translating, that can be a really beneficial for tourism and us. And there would be no barrier for people to come and visit the places, like local places. So that's one of the things that we are doing right now. And Joe, it's still in beta prototype, but once it's out, once we release it, I think the kiosks should definitely help more people. Yeah.
So do you think that this kind of an experiment would work in India, suppose at a railway station?
Yes.
Or would
Yeah.
people be intimidated to, actually interact with a virtual kind of bot?
No, not exactly. Great question. I was just showing Karthik yesterday. I thought I'm doing a presentation, so we did a quick prototype overnight. This is software called Convai. It's a conversational AI. It's an online software where you can customize your characters and things like that. So what we did is we came up with an Indian character wearing sari and very ethnic character. They have some templates, but you can customize it. So and then I gave it a name. I called it Aisha, like AI Aisha, and then gave a little backstory for her. I made her the tour guide for today's event. And it was very quick. Maybe we took like 1 hour to do it. And now you can directly talk with her. She looks like, I think one of the intimidations might come from language barrier or how we look, right? But for people, especially who are in poor states or like railway station, if the characters look like us, I don't think so they should be intimidated. I think we can make it approachable. And then it talks with an Indian accent, like an Indian English accent, which kind of reduces the intimidation also. So it's more familiar. So yeah, now the bot is live. You can talk to her. She replies, like things like that. So I feel like the characters themselves, with the technology that's coming up, we can customize it, the 3D characters, to make it look more like us. Now 3D scanning can happen not just with like fancy, before it used to be like fancy scanners with like 30, 40K scanners, but now your iPhone can do a 3D scan, and then we can put it up like that. So all of this technology is coming together. It's really bridging the gap, and definitely it's going to be helpful for the people. Yeah.
Fascinating. So, continuing from there, like,
Yeah.
so AR and digital guides can be fun. But do you think that when, they're implemented for like a tourist destination or something like that, so can they be distracting and take away from the actual experience of the place?
That's a
Like,
good,
so
yeah.
how would you like design technology that supports the experience and
Right.
not take over?
Okay, that's a good question. So continuing with Changi Jewel, the shopping mall. So the shopping mall itself, it's connected to Terminal 2, and it has 5 levels. It's a big mall, and it has the biggest indoor waterfalls, like 170 meters, something like that. So we actually did Joel Jurassic Quest. It's a AR experience spanned across the entire mall with all different levels. We actually did it for the opening year of Jewel. So you might ask, like, why this additional AR experience when this huge mall is opening? It's one of the biggest spectacle in Southeast Asia with indoor waterfalls, so many beautiful things. You might ask, like, why is it necessary, right? But that's where I feel like Singapore tourism, they like think from different angles and it's beneficial. So what we did was they approached us, so we brought this experience to them, which spans across the entire shopping mall. So we have different AR markers that are placed in different floors, and there's a story that goes along with it. So people who transit, who has 2-3 hours to spare, they can take this tablet, pay $20, the experience is paid, but the experience unlocks, you're not just getting a tablet, but it unlocks some paid venues in the mall. So you get the entire thing. So you have this tablet, and then you scan the QR code, and you have this story-driven AR experience with dinosaurs, which is very kid-friendly, which is very important because you want the kids to be engaged for like 2-3 hours if you're just around the mall. But what these markers do is they are placed at a strategic point in the mall, so that the people who are there for maybe 1 or 2 hours, they might not have all the time to explore the mall, but they can follow these markers, experience AR tour around the mall, and then they can experience the dinos, but also they can see new places, discover new places in the mall, which it has a secondary benefit to the shops around. So if you get hungry on the 3rd floor, and if you're doing the AR tour, you can eat there, right? So similar to that, we have spaced it out. So in that way, it's not distracting. You're going along with the experience. At the same time, you're exploring the mall.
Complementary.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you. So the next question is for Karthik. So the budget yesterday, we heard that they've proposed this national destination digital knowledge grid for digital documentation of places of cultural, spiritual and heritage value. So I think, what are its implications? Can you tell us a little more about it? Is it something similar to what you're already doing? What exactly would this entail?
So from what I did listen to it, so from what I understand, it looks like a content standardization across the experiences, be it spiritual, cultural, or heritage, and also the content being accessible by any channel. The channel can be offline, channel can be online. Maybe an OTA can access it, or a tour operator can access it, and an offline travel agent can access it. So right now, my view is content for, let's say, a particular site, which can be, let's say, heritage oriented. It's in different form, short. I mean, people create reels, but there are very short form content. But how can we standardize and create a, let's say, hotel industry kind of a content, right? If you pick up a hotel in India, pretty much every OTA has more or less the standard content. So yes, some OTAs have gone in terms of depth of content, but at least the content seems standardized now, right? There are brands in hospitality industry where they sell content as a service. If you integrate with them, you get, let's say, all the 5-star hotels in India with great photos, HD and videos, all the room types, the names will be similar. I mean, exactly the same as what the hotel calls, so that there is no confusion. All the amenities, everything in a standard API structure, which any online travel agent or any brand can access it. So on those similar lines is what I'm also expecting this national data digital grid to be for cultural, spiritual, and heritage sites. How can we create standardized content? So which means there is a template. Think of it as a, let's say, maybe 20, 30, 40 pointer data points about each of the site. It can be even for a maybe Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, right? So imagine that particular event. So there can be multiple content attributes that we can create. Short description, long description. What is this event, history of the event, right? When does this occur, seasonality, what to expect, and tickets for it. So that, and where does it happen, right? Accessibility, is it senior citizen friendly, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of content parameters that you can create. How can we standardize this for experiences across India and make it accessible? So one of the points, ONDC can actually enable this. We can hold this content and make it accessible to all the demand applications. So this is what I interpret, and what would happen is what I think.
Okay, thank you. Abraham, like, I think even you must have gone through like all the, all the measures announced for the travel and tourism sector in the budget. So is there anything in particular? I don't think there was anything very specific for AI and travel tech. Is there anything specific that you would want the government to, support the industry, support, players like yourself?
So I think telling the story has become the most important thing, right? Especially if you want to go beyond the beaten track in terms of building any tourism destination. And since we are talking Tamil Nadu tourism here, I think the goal is really to tell the story, build enough armory around telling that story, which is the content pieces. And when I say content in today's digital environment, I'm talking the whole plethora, right? From reels to influencers telling long format stories, to pictures, to videos, to drone footage, to you name it. I think where the government can really help in line with some level of standardization, etc., is to be able to tell the story visually, credibly, single source, endorsed. And a great example of a state that's done that, which is a neighboring state, is Kerala, way back in the 90s. Is standardizing and categorizing the Kerala Tourism Development Corporation, actually standardizing and rating hotels, even homestays, right? So you had premium homestays, etc., and a great degree of standardization and visibility on the KTDC website itself, as an example. So I think that's one area where I think every state government and the National Tourism Council or bodies can really look at enabling the digital environment, so many content creators, so many curated experience sellers, so many integrators like us. How can we build this inventory, this armory of high quality, good content that everybody can feed into? Because it makes it easier for us to tell the story, sell the experience, integrate the holiday, sell the e-commerce, build the experience for, and so on. But I think if we who are agnostic have to invest, then we'd go where the demand already exists, right? We are not going to invest in what's off the beaten track. It's in the government's interest if they really want to drive, traffic to a new emerging destination they want to build, to be able to give us that feed, or at least work with us to build that, right? We're happy to do it in partnership. And I'm hoping that the MOU we signed today opens up the doors to a lot of those conversations. So I think that's really where it's at.
Chitra, there are so many similar Instagrammable experiences. How do you use technology to help travelers discover real, meaningful experiences that are different and authentic?
That's so true. I think the Instagram is full of reels, all kinds of reels, all kinds of content. So this is an era of information overload. And it becomes very hard for a traveler to select, we end up in a decision fatigue. And I think that's where a good trip planner comes into play. There are some things beyond what you see on Instagram and social media that will actually make the difference in experiences. So on our platform, we have real travelers traveling every day. And there's a lot of data that we gather. Like I told you, every traveler is profiled to the bit. And that comes in not from the time the traveler comes on the website to how he's browsing, what he's reading, how he's planning his trip with the agent, and finally, when he's traveling. That's the moment we capture insights almost alternate days at least. And we ask relevant questions to the traveler and try to capture as much information as possible. And those are the signals that tell us that, what did the traveler enjoy the most in the trip? Which day he ended up having maximum fun? What he did not like in the trip? Which part of the attraction, was it the timing that we sent him for this tour? Or was it the overall attraction or the activity that did not work well? I think all these signals and insights come and sit with us into our system, and that help us, those are consumed in the itinerary builder. So the holy grain that Abraham was talking about, those are inputs that come to the builder, and the builder then sequences, removes, adds, figures out things, maps it to the traveler profile, and finally identifies, what experience to actually suggest. So it's not only Instagram, it's a lot more personalized to the human who's traveling. What are the likes, dislikes, and consumed from there?
Thank you so much. I think we've pretty much run out of time. But one just last question. You said that, you all are geared towards pushing the popular destinations and things like that. So is there any way in which AI can be trained to, also give exposure to the offbeat destinations? How can that happen?
I think it's a good question. It's also leading into, I think, what we should talk about, which is the elephant in the room, which is this fear that AI is going to replace, the human workforce. I think for us in the travel business, this is about real experiences and real holidays and real fun, right? I think we are better placed to actually think of AI as a very powerful ally, because all that I spoke of and the examples that I spoke of for us and for all of us are really about enhancing the experience and helping sellers sell more, extending productivity, force multiplier, etc. And I think that's really where the opportunity really is about using AI to make people more productive, leveraging that human touch and emotional connect, and AI just comes in with the speed and real-time enablement to actually fulfill.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you, for being here and sharing your insights. Thank you once again.
Gentlemen, we request you to please be on the stage. And we would love to thank each one of you for sharing your own experiences and bringing in your stories to make our audience understand how AI is reshaping the future of travel. And I also, it was so interesting to know that Christopher Williams, he was addressing, she is gonna, her voice will be there. The she, her word, it made me to think, just like a receptionist who answers all your queries, there is also a female voice. Nevertheless, it is very good to know that the technology is coming together to bridge the gap. And thank you once again to all of you for sharing your insights. And we would love to honor all of you at this moment. Please stay back. And may I invite ma'am, please do the honors of felicitating all our speakers. First, I request, ma'am, you please felicitate Ms. Chitra Gurnani Daga, who's the founder and CEO of Trilophilia. Can I have a round of applause as Ms. Anandita is felicitating Chitra, ma'am? And may I now request you to please go and felicitate Mr. Abraham Alapat, who's the President and Group Head of Marketing at Thomas Cook. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Moving on, let's felicitate Mr. Karthik Prabhu. And we have Mr. Christopher William. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. And may I invite Mr. Bhaskaran, Tourist Officer of Theni. Sir, please join us to felicitate our moderator present here. Let's give a round of applause as Mr. Bhaskaran is felicitating Ms. Anandita Ghosh. And post that, we request all of you to please come forward for a group photograph. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we conclude this session, and after a while, we will be starting off with another interesting session on the topic why some places go viral and others do not. Please join us for the next session. We'll have a quick 10-minute break and we'll resume sharply at 3:25. Thank you.
While we break for a break, Chris, may I have you here? So Chris just suggested that he has a demo, an AI demo for all of us. So I'm just requesting Chris if he can do it for us.
they can actually key in this and they can try for themselves.
All right. Do you want to connect this to the system?
Sure. Like, I don't know how to connect it. Yep. So